Hello, everybody. Just bear with us a moment here as we get everyone up on the panel. Nice to see everyone. We got Pepe, Stallone, Obi-Wan, Aragorn. We got Floki coming up. Alrighty.
Hello, long time no see. Good to be back, my friend. How are you, Sunzu?
I'm good. I'm excited for this. It's been a while. I think 4 weeks maybe at this point.
Yeah, it's been a while. I had a good holiday though. It was nice to have a little break, but I missed it definitely. So glad to be back. Glad to see everybody, and can't wait to hear from everybody. We're gonna be a little bit more chill than we usually are. We don't have many topics or anything like that. We just kind of want to touch base with everybody, get back in the flow, then starting next week have a good organized space for what we want to start going over. But unfortunately, Michael won't be able to be here tonight. Hopefully we can get him back for next week. But yeah, just give us a little bit and we'll get started for you guys. If you don't mind, could you hit the bottom right tweet button, share the space, let's get some people in here. We got some exciting guests for y'all.
Sounds good.
And also to the
go ahead, Aragorn.
To the other speakers on the panel, if you can think of any other pinned messages to go ahead and add to the other speakers. I know I went ahead and already pinned the one where I've just consolidated all tweets like that I think are important pertaining to Voyager and VGX Heroes. So if you have anything that you're either going to talk about or just something that you realize you reference quite often, go ahead.
Sounds like you're
breaking up,
Mike.
Or you covered your mic, yeah.
Oops. How about now?
That fixed it.
Did you guys hear me though? Basically, add bookmarks or add tweets, pin them.
Yeah, we could hear you up until the very end. You're just super muffled.
Could we get the $10 VGX Friday buy ritual tweet pinned if possible?
Where was that on Maximus's?
Goldie is the new leader this week.
Has she tweeted it out yet?
She's tweeted something about it, that's for sure. Or you could check mine. I made a little note about it.
All right, looks like we're starting to fill in a bit here.
Somebody can throw my chart on there too. That would be appreciated.
Let's go. The full pin tweets, getting them going early. I like it.
What do we got? We got Crypto Airborne, Logan, Duke, Tim Brown, Drake Blade, Kronos, Aaron Yeager, Pac-Man, a whole bunch of folks. Love it. Did someone get Piggy's tweet, or do you want me to grab that?
I'm getting it.
All right. So, Pepe, I think basically, if you just want to do your MC thing as usual, you give a bit of an intro, and then you can kick it off to me. I'll do some community talk with Floki and Aragorn, and then we'll let Piggy get some charting in, and then over to Obi-Wan for his portion. But I think, we can probably get started here in a minute.
Sounds good. Yeah, so I can get it rolling. First, before we start, like always, Crypto Airborne will be recording this and posting it on his YouTube channel after the fact. So if you miss any part, want to double check, or want to refer someone to that, please do so by visiting Crypto Airborne's YouTube channel. So starting off, kind of the how this all came about, the educational spaces. Before the holidays, we were doing them every Wednesday, and we plan to start that back up. So every Wednesday, but one of our early heroes, Reeves, he unfortunately passed away way too soon. But he was a great guy, and his big premise on the heroes was wanting to better educate the new people to the space, help an easy entry point, help give everybody be able to make their own informed decisions. So he came up with the idea for the educational space, having it like a panel system, so anybody's welcome to come up and ask questions and just help better the space overall. So that's kind of where this started. Usually it's me and Michael hosting it. Unfortunately, he can't be here, but he will be returning probably next week. And with him coming back, we're gonna look to start getting into potentially a chapter or a topic from the Bitcoin standard each week, and have more dedicated topics coming into each space rather than kind of how it was more of a pure AMA format. But with that, I'll introduce the other people on the panel here. We got Floki. You want to go ahead, my friend?
Thank you, Pepe. It's good to be back with you, man. I feel at home with these spaces. What's up, everybody? Y'all know me. I'm the Viking who speaks from the heart, founded the VGX Heroes with Aragorn and Maximus, and really excited for what feels like a 50-50 education and chill AMA. I think it feels like we're getting back to our roots once again with the restart of the year. You know, it just feels like the old AMA, the first one all over again, except 2.0. It's pretty exciting.
Good to hear from you, my friend. It's been too long. Aragorn, how are you?
Good. It has also been too long. I am fresh off of COVID, so first day back at full health. So I'm actually excited to breathe again. That's always fun. Something we take for granted. I enjoyed the holidays for sure, and I would say this is my first week actually thinking hardcore about crypto again and community and heroes and stuff. So it was fitting, that tonight was our restart of the AMA and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to get back into it and definitely looking to adopt a rhythm, and some material moving forward. Because let me tell you what, I chatted with a ton of people over the holidays and stuff, and mainly told them about these spaces, and that's what they were most excited about. They weren't, it wasn't so much the Voyager platform, things like that we talked about. They were excited about the education component. So I know moving forward, this is definitely going to be an exciting bit that we can invite people to, without much background each week, and it'd be a safe place for people. So, yep, that's what I'm most excited about.
Absolutely. And if anybody has any suggestions for people they want to see on here, just DM them, tell them about the space, get them here. We'd love to talk to people for y'all and let y'all get the opportunity to talk to different people. Glad to hear you're better from COVID, and glad you took a break because you dedicate so much. So it's good to get a little refresh. Obi-Wan, how are you, my friend? You've been killing it on the spaces lately.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, I've just been having a good little holiday break there. Had 2 weeks to spend a lot of time on spaces, meeting new people, and getting to talk crypto of many different types, and kind of fill in the gaps while people were having a little withdrawal symptoms from missing their Wednesday AMAs. But yeah, been pretty good, nice and relaxing time over the holidays. Didn't really do much, but we stayed healthy and got a chance to recharge the batteries because we really needed that. So happy to be back with y'all.
Love to hear it, my friend. CryptoDaddyPig, looking forward to seeing you break down that chart above us. It's absolute beauty, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great, friend. Thanks for having me on board. We've got my chart posted up and the bookmarks here at the top. So if you want to take a look at it, I'm probably going to do a little bit of a breakdown on it. I don't want to get too in detail or in depth with it because I know it's a pretty kind of extreme charting, platform and compared to what you guys are usually used to seeing. But I've been practicing this charting technique since I got into crypto in basically I think it was January of 2020. Kind of fell down a rabbit hole in terms of just trying to be able to project price for myself without having to take anybody else's opinions as my law in terms of what I'm seeing other people post on Twitter. I moderate the charting section of our Discord, so if anybody is interested in learning more, I invite you to come hang out with us. There's a lot of good chartists that aren't as vocal on Twitter, but like to share their talents with us in the Discord. So maybe you might see a setup opportunity for yourself if you're doing a little trading. I don't want to ever trade below my current tier on VGX. I want to hold that forever if I can. But if there's an opportunity to make a couple extra VGX or even another coin from time to time, I do look for those setups because the worst thing you can do is kind of just sit flat when there's opportunities to make an extra couple of tokens here and there. So I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. I've been pretty busy at work, but I've seen the numbers of VGX Heroes explode lately, and I'm really excited to try and catch up and get to know more of you. And then obviously to our OGs who are back and here with us tonight. It's so good to see you guys again, and ready to kick these AMAs back off so we can help the community in any way that we can.
Well, real quick, we affectionately refer to CDP's charts as light shows instead. So full disclaimer, strobe effect and warning.
Absolutely.
Indirectly, I might add, if you see a light show, that basically means CDP posted something. Go check it out and try to learn what he's trying to say.
Yeah, and that's just something I love about crypto in general. There's no right way to do it. Everybody has their own unique style and what they like and what works for them. And it's the best thing you can do is never copy somebody, but just every time you see something, learn from it and kind of incorporate into your own style and see where it takes you. But we'll wrap it up with Sun Tzu. How are you?
I am great. I'm happy to be back. So for anyone that doesn't know, I am Sun Tzu, minted number 15 back in the early days, if we can even call it that. I kind of have taken on the role of leading the social media team. There's a lot of other great people that help me out with this, and I definitely appreciate them. It can be crazy sometimes, but I love doing it. It's a labor of love because what we do here, it's I don't even know what to say. It's just it's amazing to see how much we've grown and how we all contribute. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I'd say for introducing myself. If everyone's ready, I can go ahead and kick off the community info.
All you, my friend.
All right, so for everyone here, whether you're new or seasoned, as far as the VGX community or crypto as a whole, we are the VGX Heroes. It's a grassroots community that started, I want to say, just about 7 months ago, maybe a little less. So it hasn't even been a year.
June 6th, I believe it was. June 7th or 6th.
June 6th or 7th. And it started small. It was just a very ragtag group posting our buys every day, or however so often, to kind of just embrace each other and say, hey, we're doing this together. And originally we were fighting the FUD, as we said, and it kind of evolved from there, especially as Pepe mentioned, with the passing of our hero Reebs. We really kind of pivoted and started moving towards a more educational type of format where rather than going against the grain, we're going with it, and we're trying to bring other people up with us. Um, so some of the things that we do, I posted at the top at the pinned, one of the pinned things is all of our socials, you know, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, stuff like that. So whatever platform you use most, there's something for everyone, hopefully. Um, we've got different leadership teams within the VGX Heroes, and you know, I'll save the details on that for Floki or Aragorn to get into. Um, but that just kind of ties in to say which platform you're on. You know, for Instagram, each hero gets their own custom artwork made by our creative team, and so the Instagram is basically just a gallery of all that artwork. It's really cool to look at. um let's see, checking my notes here. So we some of the recent things we're doing, we've got a hero of the week where it's like a telephone style type thing where one person is picked. Originally it was Aragorn as the first. That's just kind of a consensus. But the hero of the week picks the next hero of the week. And it's just kind of a nice way that we can go through and recognize each person. And it's not like voting or anyone is, you know, better or worse than anyone else. It's just a great way to kind of get the heroes involved and let everyone know that we appreciate them. Another thing we've got going on is our $10 Fridays. Every Friday, we encourage people to make that $10 minimum buy of VGX, because when you look at it, 1,000 people buying $10 shows a lot more support than one person buying $1,000 or $10,000. So that's another thing we're doing. I saw Voyager Duck has been really pushing this VGX buy ladder. That's another really cool thing I've seen happening. And so just to kind of pause there, some of these things are, you know, our core team creates them and puts them out. And then we have other stuff like this where Voyager Duck just kind of took it upon himself with a few of the others to start these fun community, you know, games, if you want to call it that. But VGX Buy Ladder, that's another awesome thing. We've got a Monday mashup hosted by Big Tico, or Hero King Leonidas. Every Monday he invites another community to have, you know, a split hour to hour spaces, where we just kind of share about what we're about, what they're about. It's a great way of networking and learning about different projects. So I love that too. There's a whole bunch of stuff we're doing. And if you come into the Discord, you know, there's no pressure to how involved you should or would want to get. But we've got a lot of cool stuff going on. Some things we're looking forward to doing, as again, Pepe had mentioned, and Floki a little bit, in future spaces. You know, we usually keep a standard kind of format, try to keep it tight, and we're thinking about doing chapters of the Bitcoin standard. You know, we're gonna do charting, technical stuff. You know, there's just so much information that all these talented people are willing to share on their own time. Um, we're thinking about doing some giveaways. Our hero, UT Snake Eyes, made some incredible custom designs that he made available to everyone, whether you want to put it on a t-shirt or a hat, or, you know, whatever creative ends your mind goes to. So we're thinking about taking some of that artwork and doing, you know, monthly or bi-monthly giveaways, something like that, just to, you know, further that appreciation. Um, let's see. I think that's about all I got for now. If Floki or Aragorn, either of you want to elaborate on any of those points.
Quick note real quick. For anybody that's not aware of the Bitcoin standard, it's not like a pure Bitcoin maxi book. It's a great book that just kind of explains like fundamental monetary system, or the traditional monetary system, and the flaws within that, and kind of the reason for crypto and Bitcoin, and like a sense of what it can do to change like the future generations and just future monetary policy. So it's just a great book for overall knowledge. Y'all can go ahead.
No, that was a great addition. I would have said that as well, because otherwise, without context, again, people can jump to their own conclusions on what that book might be. So, yeah, it's a really good beginner base for really anybody in crypto. I would say an underrated part of what is happening in the VGX Heroes is the social component of it in real life. So we have a section in the Discord called "Put Yourself on the Map," and through that you can basically pick a self-assigned badge that shows other Discord users what state you live in. And then there's a meetups channel where you can like @ Florida, and it like tags everyone there and sends them a message. And so Floki held the latest larger gathering in SoCal, and we had like 7 people or something like that be able to meet up. So that was pretty cool. And I would say the next big scale one's going to be happening in Florida for the Daytona 500, the NASCAR event coming up. So that's going to be probably our next big one. But yeah, I think as an extrovert, that's this is one of the biggest pieces that I'm excited about, because sure, I love networking with y'all online and stuff, but I'm like, but real world, like, so that's definitely what I like. So yeah, that's my little plug. And
yeah, I guess I'll go over, kind of the basics and what it means to become a hero and what a hero does, and some of the traditions that or processes that have sort of made this community. Because I see it all the time. How do you become a hero? It's real simple. You just reach out to us and mention who you want to be. If you're familiar and comfortable with Discord, you just join our Discord, and it will pipeline you to our Pick a Hero channel, where you'll be greeted and help you through that process. Basically just tagging VGX Heroes is a good way to get our attention. And we only have one rule, is that no duplicate characters. We actually maintain a master list to ensure that there is only one Aragorn, there's only one Stallone, there's only one Darkwing Duck, Obi-Wan, so on and so forth. We want to make sure we immortalize your identity, and if you could have a personal connection with what you pick, it makes it that much more fun. So that's how you become a hero. Other than that, there's no other requirements. It's up to you to change the profile picture. It's up to you to add VGX Hero to your name or bio. All that's really required is no duplicates, and you got to believe in Voyager. We are not VGX maxis whatsoever. And, it's just traditions being built here. It's only been 6 months, and I can't believe we already have 650 people or so. What does a hero do? We celebrate and support each other. We are essentially a guerrilla marketing, education community, social community. It all started just posting buys as one, and, posting our characters' GIF under people's buys, celebrating them, or under people's shill knowledge or education pieces, or just fun pieces, just leaving your stamp or your mark, and people see that, oh, all these people believe in this, and they're all different but still united. So celebrating each other, posting buys with pictures, creating color content, and audio if possible too. We have some musical heroes as well. That's really where it all started. And then as we started getting some traction, we developed the mint announcement. So every new hero will get a mint, where you're essentially born or minted into existence as your character, which is the first sort of fun piece. Then you get a piece of art from our awesome artists, Snake Eyes, Duke Nukem, and John Wick do an excellent job. That's a nice other tradition. And after that, you kind of just get your feet wet and start connecting with people, and have fun. And the next gradual step up from that is getting a little bit more involved if you want. You know, we're a volunteer-based group. None of us are paid for this. This is all our time, our dime, giving back because we are passionate and we believe. And what's my line? Oh yeah, getting rich alone is boring. And this is a fun way to contribute to our investment. And it's just so much more than just LARPing on the internet. This is like Aragorn was saying, some real life connections happening here. These guys are going to be my friends for the rest of my life. And it's an incredible space to be a part of, and I welcome everybody. We are inclusive. And other than that, one other thing I wanted to talk about, Sun Tzu, you did a great job with some of our conditions, listing them, but the Friday buy, another piece of that is each week there's going to be a buy leader. So this week it's Goldie, right? Each week the buy leader will have a speech or a final reminder on Thursday afternoon, and then quote tweet that Friday morning with a picture of their $10 buy and then a picture of their character, and that's where everybody else needs to go. The idea is to get them all in one place, and and being a rotating leader, so everyone kind of experiences making that speech and getting all the following and everything being in one place. I think it's some pretty powerful stuff. And if you guys have ideas that you think are going to help this community and come from a good-hearted nature, just do it. I mean, look at, I think it was Captain Cannabis and Darkwing Duck that really got the buy ladder started. It just sort of came out of nowhere, and it's awesome. It's caught a lot of traction. Same with my art sets and the Friday buys. I just sort of did it. So I encourage and empower everybody to just follow what you believe in and continue to uplift each other. And that's my long-winded heroes stuff that I wanted to share with you guys.
I loved it, and yeah, totally agree on just our community, and it's just the wealth of knowledge between all the channels and all the different avenues where everybody came from and how it led them to Voyager. You know, it's just like a great mix up of non-tribalism that support all they support VGX, but it's all the other projects on VGX and everything that's brought them to here. So it's crazy how far we've come in such a short time, but looking forward to the future of it, my friends.
And I would just say an exciting plug for the Discord as well. Again, I just got 2 new people to come on the Discord today because I saw them post, or they tagged on Facebook, and I'm not on Facebook much, but they're like, any of my friends into crypto? And so I replied, and then the guy, because I said something about a Discord as well, I said it kind of after the fact because I'm not one to lead with heroes necessarily, because then I have to explain it, and then it's kind of a little long-winded. But he asked for the link for it, so I sent it, and then in context I was like, hey, once you go there, go to the resources tab, and I already have 2 PDFs made called Crypto Starter Steps, and then a resources PDF you can just download. So that way, any of us, people like getting free stuff, right? And so if you were to tell them, hey, I have a Crypto Starter Steps PDF that you can just tell them to download just by going to this website, like it's a no-brainer, and it's an easy kind of stickiness to the Discord, in that, like, hey, who knows, they might stick around if they came for that, but maybe enjoy the community as a result. So I would just empower anybody, even if you don't feel like you're an educator, anybody can download a PDF and pass it on, something like that. So email it to a friend. I don't care, like anything. It's there. It's a free resource, so go ahead and use it.
And I know we threw out a lot of things just now. If I had to pick one that I would encourage everyone to do, because doing everything is just impossible. There's just so many things that are going on. But as you see new heroes being minted in our community, please go into the comments and welcome them, even if it's just a quick GIF of your character. I mean, this is their first taste of having something given to them and curated and designed with heart to them. So it's important to create that wonderful vicious cycle of welcoming, because then they're going to see people coming, and it's just going to keep building. Our mentors do a fantastic job. The Dude, Storm, Maximus, Space Ghost, Donnie Darko, Wonder Woman, Aragorn. There's a bunch of people that do the creative writing to welcome people. And if you want to do more than that, and you're concerned about, oh, I don't know enough about the space, or I'm not good enough creatively, or whatever, don't hesitate to reach out to me or any of the other heroes, because I want to make sure that you're doing what you love and contributing in a way that you want to. If you're going to do this, make sure your heart's behind it and it doesn't feel like a chore. You should be enjoying your time here. And I'm going to shut up now and pass it on.
Anything else we want to touch on community, Discord, heroes before we move on?
One last thing. I just got a DM. We've got a fantasy sports league. Well, there was one to begin with. There's probably going to be more, but shout out to King Kong, who was the winner of this season's fantasy league. So everybody knows King Kong. Ain't got shit on him.
Nice.
So, like an ape, was he like flinging poo at everybody?
Okay.
I don't know. Can't speak to the poo flinging.
Hey,
Good
notice
transition.
the man's a champion. That's all that everybody needs to know. That man's a champion. But if we want to kind of turn to the next topic, I'd love to get into Obi-Wan. I know you have a kind of a formula broke down for like tiers and how much it pays itself off for how long. Huh?
I don't know do we want to I don't know if Daddy Pig wants to do the charts first, just so that Obi-Wan has more time. Either way is fine. I don't know which you guys prefer.
Yeah, we can start off with a chart. That's fine with me. Go ahead, CryptoDaddyPig.
All right, good deal. Yeah, I was gonna explain my chart because I'm gonna hop off after the explanation and go help out Airborne with timestamps on this, and I certainly want to give Obi-Wan his room to get all that information out because I know it's good information. So yeah, as you can see, we've got my chart pinned to the top of the spaces. As you guys have been told, heroes like to lovingly refer to it as the laser light show. I still haven't figured out why, but someday I will, I promise. But while the chart looks futuristic and funky, it's actually a technique that's been around for over 100 years. It's based off of what's called a Gann Box, which is a tool that you can use on TradingView. It's in like the third section down on the left-hand column. The setting up of the Gann Box itself is a little difficult to explain and would probably be better served for a situation where maybe I can hop on a YouTube with somebody sometime and draw one up. I also have some videos from other YouTubers that kind of taught me along the way. So if somebody's interested in that, feel free to hop into the Discord charting section or just shoot me a DM. The Gann Box is named after the creator of the Gann Box, who was W.D. Gann, who was born in the late 1800s. I think he died around the late 1950s. And the guy just made astronomical money for the time that he was alive. He did a lot of commodities trading, and while it wasn't the only technique he used, it was one of his ways that he could go ahead and basically break down a chart and try to forecast where he saw prices to go in the future. So I've just kind of fallen down a rabbit hole, and like I said, I've been charting this way for about since early January 2020, and kind of honing my craft. And while it's not tarot cards or a crystal ball, it can kind of help. And that's why I choose to post it, so people can kind of take a look at it and gauge what they see from the chart and kind of make their own predictions. I can use the chart. It's the pin post is on a daily chart, but you can break it down to hourly or 15 minutes if you even wanted to, and try and gauge where you're going to see price go. I think what I like about the chart is that, you know, you're not only getting your vertical lines and horizontal lines, but you also have diagonal lines going in each direction. And if you really look closely at the chart, you can see how the candles will tend to follow these lines, and you know, at points you'll see the lines act as support or resistance, and kind of gives you a roadmap where you can take a look where price is now, and where price potentially could be going moving forward. I color coded some of the lines. You've got your yellows, your reds, your oranges, and your greens. And, you know, those lines are still the white lines that are on the Gann box. I've just kind of highlighted them so that you guys can kind of see what I see when I'm looking at the chart. You know, this chart, this box goes back. I there wasn't I guess the hardest thing right now is that because when we switched to the VGX 2.0, we lost a good portion of the chart that's available for us on Voyager when we look at it. So I'm basically trying to piece together data points, you know, without a full chart. There is a version of VGX that has the full chart on TradingView. If you want to add that chart to your TradingView, it is VGX USDT, I believe. But it's kind of a fragmented chart, and it's a little wonky, and the price doesn't follow price to a T the way that this new TradingView chart of, I think it's Coinbase, allows you to review price. So again, I know this chart isn't for everybody, but I just want to kind of just give some basic of what I see from the chart, and just kind of go through that real quick. So the Gann box that I had placed was placed on September 7th, and you can't quite see where it starts, or maybe you can. I'm kind of looking at it, the chart live, but so you place that Gann box down, and it's going to put those lines automatically on the chart. And you'll see the way that the price basically dropped down and hit the white line of support, and then was bouncing between the red horizontal line and the orange vertical line going up, and then shot up, you know, all the way up to where it was in middle to late November, where we hit our high around, you know, 587, and since then has kind of been rejected and being pushed back down. If you guys remember, I think about a week ago, I had a post with the chart in it, and what I was looking at that time frame was I was expecting the price to bounce around January 7th, when those two yellow lines, the ascending and the descending line, touched. I was expecting that there was going to be a point where basically you had a descending line and an ascending line, and those points were all meeting, and I was expecting a bounce from that price, because you can see on that lowest descending yellow line on October 27th, we had our basically low from this chart at about $1.83, and it hit that line and then proceeded to bounce up, and that's when we got our next move upwards. What I really like to pay attention to in these charts is, because you can take these Gann boxes and you can stack them to the right of the previous box, or to the, you know, up above the previous box, so you can continue these lines basically for the eternity of the chart. And what you will find over time, and, you know, obviously as we get more data, you're going to find that price will naturally find these points, these major angles throughout the space of the chart, and that's where you're going to see a point of, you know, reversal. So again, it's still tough. Obviously, we only have a few months of data here on this chart, you know, and it does kind of appear that we've hit a cycle in a sense that some of these lines get invalidated over time, and they aren't going to make another appearance ever if they're descending. Hopefully, you know, because just the way the chart works is as you move forward in time, some of these angles will get invalidated and then new angles will present themselves. But so right now, we basically we failed that, or I failed in my prediction of expecting that bounce around the 7th, and price went all the way back down to that red horizontal line. So if you look back in time, you can see how much time that we spent basically dancing back and forth above and below that line before we finally got a kind of a reversal in price. And so I know now that this line and this price point around, you know, the 249 range is a very significant point of a support for us. And if that were to break, then, you know, I would expect, you know, some sort of probably a fairly quick drastic move downwards for an opportunity, you know, hopefully to load up on some more VGX, but also it allows me to have a point of reference for moving forward. So you can see that I've got now a vertical purple ascending line. I think it's on January 21st. So now what I'm watching is that we've got that descending diagonal that I highlighted green, and that point is coming to a point with the support price of 249. So I would expect and hope that the next major move is, you know, going to be happening by, you know, the 21st or the 22nd. I'm obviously hoping that that move is to the upside. You know, we've got a lot of things that are supposed to be happening in Q1 of this year, according to Voyager. So I'm optimistic that hopefully that, you know, when we touch down on the 10th to around the 235 range, and we got that wick, and then we closed the day above 249, and now you're kind of seeing that we've got a little hook going towards that descending green line that will break it. We may then go up to that first yellow line where you can see price sat for a really long time. If you even go further back to when we had that major green candle that started the move, you will see that price jumped up and went all the way up to that descending green line all the way at the beginning of the move, and then the next candle bounced all the way back to that yellow descending line. So what I do really appreciate and you know, find fascinating about these charts is that, you know, I can basically chart these lines and see them and use them as areas of support and resistance moving forward to help educate myself in terms of where I think price will go next, to set up, you know, even daily buys or, you know, weekly buys, or, you know, when the paycheck hits and I want to add some VGX, I can start to, you know, I fully support everybody who just wants to DCA. I think it's probably the safest option. But if you, you know, you have limited income or limited investment capabilities at this time, having a chart and being able to use that chart to determine where you think the best buy opportunity is moving forward can really help you to, you know, make the most out of the opportunity of your buys. So that's a basic breakdown of the chart. Like I said, I'm always available in the Discord. I'm always available DM if you want to talk about it. We have a lot of guys who post their charts in the Discord. A lot of guys who are new to charting, who are just posting their setups and their ideas and making their charts their own charts, and we're happy to give pointers and help each other out and see opportunities together. And it's a great little section of the Discord. So I hope you guys will join us, and I appreciate you guys giving me the time to try and explain this so that when you guys see these charts moving forward, you could post your laser light show gifts, but you have an understanding of what I'm posting and can kind of make a determination for yourself based on my roadmap of where you think price will go next.
Could we get
Yeah.
some 100s for Piggy? 100s all around for Piggy.
100. Absolutely, my friend. You did a great job explaining it and making it easy to follow, especially color coordinating it. That was a great job, friend. That's amazing. Thank you.
You bet, guys. I'm going to hop off so I can take some notes. I love you all so much. You take care of yourselves and my DMs, and, just, shoot me anything on Twitter, and I'm always here for you guys. I love this community. I'm so thankful. Every day that I found you guys, you make the down days so much brighter, and I think we have a lot of fun as a community, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting to see a bunch of you in person moving forward as we have these group meetups, because I'm dying to get to know some of you guys in person. And Cartel, I love you so much.
Give some 100s for Cartel. That's who
Yeah.
we need. We need some 100s for Cartel.
Hey, Piggy, you coming to Daytona?
What's the date on that?
Oh, you caught me.
Isn't it like the 20-something, 22nd, 20th or something?
I'll be back.
If we get enough people, I'll fly across the country again, for sure.
February
do anywhere
20th.
regardless.
What are you talking about? We're having 100 heroes there. There's gonna be 100 heroes there.
I will have to talk to Mommy Pig about that, but if there's any way in hell I can make it, then I'm gonna be there.
I mean, that'll literally be here before you know it. We better get our act together with like either t-shirt buys if people want to do that again, and their unique heroes, stuff like that. All I'm saying, we better get ready.
Who's bringing the RV? Who's getting us the spot in the Grove?
We're staying this time too. I'm just letting you know. Like, I'm not leaving. We're staying for the after party. Like, it's gonna get wild. It's gonna be so fun. Some serious relationship building. Serious.
Dude, Floki, if you thought that was big, that was the little race. This one's the Daytona 500. It's like one of the biggest.
It's a Super Bowl, man.
Yeah,
you gotta keep an empty beer bottle in your pocket. Otherwise, people are just gonna keep giving you beers because that's how nice everybody is. So just be careful. You've been warned.
Well, I know this is a little bit getting sidetracked here, but Floki, why don't you describe to our audience what that whole atmosphere is like? Because let's be real, not many of us know what a NASCAR event. We've seen it online on TV, but it's a whole different thing being there.
All right, cut me off if I go over 2 minutes because I really want to get to Obi-Wan and give him the floor, but I can't contain my excitement. It's basically a giant party. So there's the track, the cars go vroom vroom all the way around, and it's pretty incredible just to feel the physical sensation. Bring earplugs. It doesn't do justice seeing it in real life. But for Daytona, the arena and the raceway is so large that they actually have people setting up. It's an ocean of RVs, just a parking lot of RVs, and people have barbecues, pools, cornhole, of course, eating everywhere. I see the NASCAR drivers roll through and say hi to people. They have bars that are usually, donation based because it's like the love of NASCAR. It's like NASCAR groupies. These guys just take their custom super RV from race to race and just party. Everyone's in their happy place. It's like, it's a NASCAR rave. Basically, I'm not even sure half the people are actually watching the race. They're just having a good time, and waiting for a crash and just connecting with people. I literally just walked up and down this area of RVs by myself for 3 hours and had a blast. Some old woman even rebraided my beard for me. It was hilarious. She handed me a beer. Tons of good times. It's a party.
And I think doesn't the stadium hold something like 200,000 people max capacity? But it's a huge number, and for anybody, for reference, if you don't know really how much 200,000 is, the biggest football stadiums in America hold around 100,000. So double that.
Yeah. And another crazy thing for me, first time experience in NASCAR, was how steep the sides up were.
Yeah.
You know, looking at NASCAR, you think it's like flat and there a slight you know, elevation on the turns. No, this thing is like like a 45-degree wall that they're going around. It's crazy in person experience for sure.
You can walk on the track beforehand. They'll let you. And yeah, it's a workout hiking up across it.
I'm all about the NASCAR crypto roadie lifestyle now. Like, I'm all about it. It's so fun.
Ready for the full decked out NASCAR RV to travel, for you to be traveling across country.
Yep. Get Oakenshield to DJ from the top of the RV.
There you go. We're waiting for our concert, but that's enough of that. Obi-Wan, we can get into your content because I'm actually really looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you for letting us indulge in that.
No, it's fine. I was kind of winging it, just kind of bringing up some of the topics that we've discussed over the weeks, and want to give people time for AMA time. But I wanted to touch on, because we haven't had a chance to in this forum yet, to discuss the changes to the VLP that came out on January 1st. So what we saw announced up to this point is that the VLP is debit card rewards are shifting to now give you cash back on your loyalty tier from anywhere from 1% to 3% back. So whether you're an adventurer, explorer, or navigator, that those rewards have 10x'd from what they were originally announced at 10 basis points or 20 or 30 basis points, all the way up to 1, 2, or 3%. Rumor and speculation is, based on conversations with people in the community with the company, is that would apply to your checking account balances in addition to your debit card swipes. So if that's the case, I just wanted everybody to kind of just dream a little bit about what their monthly expenses are in their mortgage payment, their car payment, their utilities, child support, whatever you have, insurance, whatever you can't pay with a debit card or can pay with a debit card. And then figure out what that monthly number is, whether it's, $5,000, $10,000, and then multiply that by the percent back that you're getting. So right now, today, I'm just going to focus on this one benefit, and then I'll go into the other things that were announced. But today Voyager's trading at $2.64. So to get to the adventurer tier, to get 1% back on a debit card, it's only a cost of entry of $1,320. So if you were to even have a pretty moderate spending balance of $5,000 a month at 1% cash back, that's $50 a month in your pocket, right? Well, let's divide that by the cost of $1,320. That's going to take you 26 months to have a free adventurer tier just from that one benefit alone. So anybody can obtain this level of 500 tokens at today's price, and it literally will be free in 2 years of using the platform. That's not counting the 9% USDC and the 0.5% interest booster and the trading rewards and the referral rewards and all the other goodness that comes with being a VLP member. That is just solely the spending that you would have on your checking account. So I just wanted to kind of let that sink in for anybody who's not an adventurer tier. And definitely would recommend securing that level now while we're going through a little bit of a accumulation phase before we reach some catalysts here. Like once those debit cards get in people's hands and they start putting their direct deposit into their Voyager account and everybody starts seeing these rewards trickle in, I think we'll see kind of what we saw last time when the trading rewards were announced in September, when we first started getting our twice a month trading rewards back, and what a game changer that was. I think that this will be the same kind of effect. The debit card rewards are massive. So what do y'all think about that?
Is it safe to say that it's actually going to be paid back faster because the appreciating VGX as well? So that's if we don't even change prices right now.
Yes, because the rewards are paid in VGX. So that was the other part of the announcement, is that all VLP benefits, so the interest boosters, the cashback on spending, the referral boosters, and the trading rewards, those are all going to be paid in VGX, which, you know, as that becomes more scarce, because we'll be depleting that marketing growth pool, that the company's decided to use that growth pool on its community because we're their greatest asset. We do the marketing. We have forums like this. We tell our friends and family, you know, financial products are ones that, you know, people are going to take to heart a little bit more if they hear it from a loved one, as opposed to maybe a commercial on TV or a banner ad that they see on the internet. And when we start showing them what the life-changing passive income that this platform can really provide and freedom that it can provide. I mean, what I just talked about, you know, the membership is free just by using the platform in less than 2 years. You know, it's safe to say, exactly like you said, Floki, this is going to pay for itself a lot quicker with price appreciation and with the other benefits. But I was just kind of trying to point that, you know, that debit card reward in itself basically will cover it for you at that first tier. The other tiers, it's going to be more of, you know, if you want that extra boosters and you want that extra percentage, and you're going to have to kind of plug in your own expense and the amount that you're going to save on the platform to kind of see how that fits into whether or not the upfront cost is worth it to you at this moment. But I just wanted to encourage everybody to at least get that 500 and start getting rewards for your spending, because that's literally, you know, free money and passive income that you can use to help offset expenses, or maybe pay down a college fund, or you know, get out of debt, take a vacation. You know, it's life-changing to a lot of people.
What's your guys' take on how often that will get paid out, bi-monthly or monthly? Because, you know, currently the only thing paid out monthly is the monthly interest. Other than that, everything else is paid out bi-monthly.
I would assume that it would be monthly with the other interest on that one.
Okay.
But I don't know until the details are released.
Again, not that it matters, because I also what's really neat about all the payouts, well, for the primarily with the debit, are via USDC and VGX, and that is a whole lot more simple than any other card or crypto out there for the most part, because well, let's compare it to fiat for a second. So I mean, a lot of them, they have withdrawal minimums or whatever. Like I use a city card and it requires a $25 minimum to withdraw it. You won't have any of that, you know, right now. So, and it's giving it to you in meaningful amounts, and also expediently at that. So we're talking about like at best every 2 weeks, or at worst a month. You know, that's nothing in the grand scheme of things, and pretty convenient.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, they did say that there's no fees for the debit card with the VLP membership as well. And I don't know if that indicates there'd be a fee if you were a basic member, but, you know, just another option there to save money. But yeah, I mean, so that in and of itself, right, that's really awesome. But now that the company is basically reinvesting their marketing pool, their growth pool, that a lot of people were concerned from a tokenomics perspective, that money is going directly back in the community. And when we spend and refer and trade our ways into passive income heaven, guess what happens? Supply squeeze happens, that growth pool gets depleted, and then Voyager has to go to the open market and buy our VGX rewards from Coinbase and FTX and Binance on the open market. So if there's not a lot of supply, and you have a company having to reward its customers by buying open market, that's going to be price accretive to VGX.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think of. And this, I mean, that's just one aspect. There's so much more coming down the line. And just thinking on top of, you know, that, just the absurd growth Voyager's experiencing is just, you do the math, it's and a lot of people, just speaking on like the 9% interest and stuff, it's hard for them to understand. So just, I'd say not financial advice, get your tiers while you can, because it is a desirable asset. I mean, everything it offers on a pure, hassle-free, simple to use, passive income side, it's truly amazing.
Yeah. And if anyone struggles with the math on the 9%, if you take $100 and you multiply it by 9 divided by 12, that's what basically what that means is you're getting 75 cents for every $100 you have saved per month. So for every $1,000, you're getting $7.50 savings per month, and that's non-compounded, right? If you're not pulling from your savings and you let that compound it, maybe you get an extra percent or so. So that's another powerful benefit. But that's one way I like to really explain it in simple terms to people. It's like, how much are you making from your bank? You got 10 grand in your savings account at the bank making 0.5% versus putting it in Voyager getting 9%. Well, I mean, 10 grand, that's not chump change, right? So I'll do the math real quick. What is it, 10 grand? It's $75 a month. So I don't know about you guys, but before I went on Voyager, I wasn't making $75 a year in interest on most of my accounts. So you make that in 1 month. I mean, that's huge. So that's a really easy thing to sell. And then if you have the membership tier, you're getting a 0.5% booster on top of that. So, and then that's going to be paid in VGX, which, as we just talked about, should be going up because there's not going to be enough supply to meet the demand. I have some other tidbits of knowledge to drop, but I wanted to just kind of let you guys kind of comment on what we've talked about so far.
I was gonna add that now is a great time to be accumulating as well, because if you look at the past year, VGX has been around, and there's a lot of people who have a cost basis or an average price that's higher than what it's currently at. So, I know a lot of the VGX heroes don't have a cost basis of $2.60 or whatever it is. So we're all still accumulating, and there's whales in the community that have over 100,000 tokens. They're not selling. They're probably still buying. It's really, we've got this ground floor established where there's so many people in this community that believe and are holding, as long as they can. And that's not to shy anyone away from selling or anything. You do what you do. But there's a lot of us that are holding this long term. And so that just speaks to what's probably going to happen to the supply. You look, we're almost 700 members strong. Even if, each of us had just 100 VGX, which, we all have a lot more. It's a great time to be accumulating if you can.
If anybody sees a cheat sheet, like an Excel sheet to demonstrate, and plug and play some numbers, let us know. I don't know, Aragorn or Obi-Wan, if we have one already, but that might be something that the community would be interested in, so they could kind of plug and play and put in what their monthly is and da-da-dee, da-da-doo, da-da-dum. So if that's out there, let me know.
I don't know if there's one out there, but I could build something.
Stone Cold, I'm pretty sure has it somewhere.
And we need to dig that up.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I knew he had one, but I couldn't remember what his formula was.
I don't remember either. It was just
I think that was the cashback on trading, or
he also had that.
yeah, I know he for sure has the rewards earned from trading formula, but not sure what else he has.
Yeah, and I'm out looking right now on Etherscan, and we've got 72% of the supply staked right now.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And that is going, I mean, that's growing every month. The number of holders, we don't know, but we know that this, at least the supply or the VLP membership's growing about 15% a month. The funded accounts are growing at about 100,000 a month. The inflation from the staking rewards is only growing about 1 million tokens a month. So, as Stone Cold, mentioned, the buy side demand outweighs the new issuance by a factor of about 10 to 1. So if we keep gobbling up, 10 million tokens a month or so, it's not going to take very long. I mean, if say European expansion happens, I'm just going to say April, start of second quarter, and maybe we get a couple countries, and maybe we have Canada. I'm just speculating that within the first 6 months of this year, there's a very real chance that the float or the circulating supply could be 10% or less of the tokens.
Yeah, I totally agree with the expansion, but I think just a NASDAQ listing alone, that will bring so many new buyers just because it proves from almost legitimacy. Sorry, tough words, getting late at night, but it proves it on that fact, along with just, CNBC will do like a ring the bell type event, and they'll just get the word out there even more, and the facts of the growth, the interest, and everything that comes with it just getting exposed to that many more people. There's so much coming down the line. It really is exciting.
Yeah, it's also crazy just to kind of look out there and look at, FTX. They only have 1.4 million tokens. That's 0.5% of the supply. Binance has a lot of the trading supply. I'm trying to find what Coinbase has. I'm not exactly sure which one of these wallets is Coinbase, but it's 10 million or less.
I got a question. Oh, go ahead, Aragorn.
I was just saying, for those that are new and looking at it and wondering what's the deal with such big holdings and wallet sizes and stuff. So that's because Voyager holds them for us. So as a broker, and so as such, they own several of the large wallets there. So that's the. And unless you are looking at them and know their history and stuff, those of us that know our way around can kind of tell you what's what or what might be in what wallet and stuff. But unless you know that, don't just go guessing, because otherwise you'll get wrecked with some of your calculations.
Well, I do know that Binance has staking as well for international holders that are interested in VGX. And you can make a fairly educated guess that the large Binance wallet is the staking wallet. And then, so if you were to say that, we're closer to 75% of the supply being staked and 25% of the supply being, available for purchase in some capacity or held by, people. So that, like, the basic point of all of this is that the supply is getting eaten up and it's not going to be a whole lot left. And so if anybody's looking at the VLP and they want to get in now at a very low cost basis, or they want to increase their tier and lower their cost basis and get to that point where they can pay back their initial purchase faster, this is a really good time to do so.
Yeah, and just on a pure investment standpoint, so without taking into account potential price appreciation, like you said, 2 years to pay for itself. So thinking on a pure investment standpoint, it pays for itself in 2 years, so 100% 2 years, on top of retaining the free VGX from that. So it's kind of a crazy thing to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really will pay for itself before that. Like, I fully intend that my navigator status will be paid for within the next 2 years. Like, so, I mean, and people ask a lot of times, and I'll throw this out there, the mindset of, hey, when it gets to such and such price, I'm going to unload X amount of tokens, or, this is the amount I'm looking to get profit out of it. I would suggest that you consider, if you don't need the money right away, and you want to have a money printer or an income that could replace your job and give you the freedom that you need to do what you want. My thought process is, when my rewards that I've earned through trading and through the 7% staking and the debit card back and all the referrals, when those tokens that I've accrued for free for just using the platform, multiplied by the price of VGX equals my cost basis, I'll sell and recover my cost basis, but I will have at that point a free position that's giving me passive income every single month for infinity. And I can literally just use that passive income as I need it. And that is a literal passive income generator for the rest of my life.
That's good. It's using delayed gratification through that. It's similar to how people would use cash back from credit cards and stuff, and then just let that build up until a rainy day hits or whatever, and then they need it. It's using the same thing. So all it would take is just basically just using a monthly budget, but keeping track of how much rewards you're getting, and then having kind of a goal that you're shooting for with that. So that's a great idea.
Right. And with regular dollar cost averaging and value cost averaging, these larger pullbacks, that timeline decreases all the time. Because a lot of you heard me say this, but hey Obi, what's your investment thesis for VGX, and why do you keep buying it even though you've already hit the navigator, so you've already got your utility out of it? And the answer is kind of what I just said. I want a passive income for life, and I want to take advantage of that utility. And I continue to invest further into Voyager because I view it as a rental property. So instead of going out and buying a second house and worrying about a tenant that may or may not pay, or something breaking that I have to cover, or dealing with a bad property manager, or taxes going up and now I have to increase rent, all those impairments that go along with owning property, I don't have any of those headaches with owning VGX. I get the utility of the token. I get payments twice a month. The more I take off the supply on the market, the higher the price my house goes up. And so I've got that asset that I can sell if I want to buy a bigger house. That's basically the investment thesis. I'm getting the utility of it from the tokens of the tier, right? But everything beyond that is essentially investment property.
Yeah, so that's a great point. I love that, actually.
Yeah.
I got 2 points and a question. First point is for all of you who are not a VGX hero and wondering about, where we stand as a community versus the price of the coin. I think most of us, myself included, have a higher cost than what the price is right now. So just to reinforce how good of a buy it is, now is a great time. It's not like we're just high on, price action being good right now and we're saying everybody join on. We're actually down and we still believe. So that's our conviction. As far as, property, my mind thinks of, well, on the flip side, if you already own property and you have that monthly operating cycle beyond what your just mortgage is, that's another utility in itself, because that property that's paying for itself, you're now running through the debit card and you're squeezing even more money out of it. So, especially if you're jumping from your old home to your new home, because that old home still has that low interest rate compared to if you're just to buy an investment property now, that interest rate is going to be much higher than a primary residence. So those are my two comments. And my one question to you, Obi, is what the naysayers are potentially saying about the debit card and how the rewards are coming back in VGX, and they'll just sell them. But I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a second, doesn't that mean that's creating higher volume, and isn't that a good thing? So if you could speak to your thoughts around how volume of VGX is going to be affected by this debit card, I'm curious what your thoughts are and if it's good or not.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think getting the rewards in VGX for all of the member benefits is going to be good because it allows people to level up through usage of the platform without necessarily having to put extra capital in to acquire the position. So if you just wanted to climb tiers and you just want to trade a whole bunch on the platform, but you don't want to buy VGX, there's a huge benefit there. You just spend in your debit card and you're doing your trades and you're earning VGX rewards, and eventually that's going to result in you moving up a tier. In terms of the people that are naysayers and, oh, I don't want my interest paid in VGX, I want it in kind, I want it paid in Bitcoin and Ethereum and USDC, I would say just sell your VGX that you get and then buy the asset you want. Because if you're selling it when you acquire it, depending on how you're filing your taxes and when you initially bought, that could be tax advantageous or non-advantage depending on how you're filing. But when you get to the point where you're just getting the income, you're going to have to report it as income anyway. So if you just get it at paid and then sell it right away, there's not really a capital gains there, and then you just buy the asset that you want. So if you wanted to use VGX to acquire a bigger position of Avalanche, then go ahead and sell your VGX. I mean, that's what it's for. It's a reward, and I don't think anybody should be worried, in our community about selling their VGX, because that's ultimately what we want, right? We want to have a market of buyers and sellers. We want to have volume. We want to have activity, because that volume creates the market price, and that's what's going to allow new people to come onto the platform and expand the numbers in the VLP. And as long as the demand is outstripping the selling volume or the inflation, that's all price positive. Right. So yeah, there's really no problem in doing that. It's what we're all looking for, right? In the example of the money printer, the income. Do I need to sell all of my VGX rewards? Probably not. I probably have enough that I don't need to even sell all of them, but I have the option, So and so does everybody else. So if your goal is just to acquire as much Bitcoin as you can possibly get your hands on, and you want to sell all your rewards and buy Bitcoin, do it. I mean, that's more tokens in circulation for the next person coming onto the platform to get at their adventurer tier. And I'll say this too. Let me throw out some numbers. Okay, so I talk about the adoption cycle a lot and where we are in terms of global crypto adoption and adoption within the United States. And if we were to use Coinbase as a proxy for global population and the adoption rate of crypto, they've got roughly what Voyager would call, 80 million downloads or users. But they've only got what Voyager would call 7 to 8 million of funded accounts, ones that are actively trading per month. And that's down from 9 million the quarter before. So their market share is slipping for the number of users. They're kind of catering more towards institutions for their revenues. But if you just think about that number, and even if we use the bigger number, the 9% on what used to be 82 million is now, I think 73 million was their last quarterly report. I mean, that's roughly 10%, right? 10% of their users are actually funded accounts and actively trading. If you compare that to Voyager, Voyager has 1.1 million funded accounts and 2.7 million verified. So we as a Voyager community are actually running at about a 40% conversion rate from a downloaded account to a funded account. 4 times higher than what Coinbase is doing. So that's just a feather in Voyager's cap and kind of speaks to the value proposition that they provide. But let's go back to the market cap discussion. So if the market cap of Coinbase, which is global by the way, but we'll use it as a US proxy. If we're talking 8 million funded accounts that are actively trading and involved in crypto, there's 330 million people, not adults, but just people. That's less than 3% of the United States. And if you were to kind of extrapolate that around the world, because the United States is kind of in the middle of adoption, it's not the most adopted country and it's not the least. We're roughly around that 2 to 4% adoption rate across the globe. So we're still incredibly early in just digital assets as an investment class, but we're incredibly early in terms of the United States adoption. A lot of people are aware. There's a mass awareness. If they got 80 million out of 330 million, that's 20-something% of the country, right? So you have a lot of people aware of crypto, but you don't have a lot of people actually buying in and adopting. So we are still in that early innovators to just the beginning of the early adopters phase, and I'll pin this because I posted about it recently. Now let's take that in terms of Voyager. So we're really early in crypto in general. We're really early with Voyager at 1.1 million customers. That's 30 basis points of the country. Plenty of headroom to go, just in the 49 states that they're in right now. When that customer base has largely been accrued over the last 12 months. It took Coinbase 3 years to get 1 million customers of funded accounts. In year 4, they went from 1 million to 2.8 million. So think of that as Voyager in 2021 going into 22 is similar to what Coinbase did when they went from 1 to 1.8. And a couple years after they hit 2.8, they're now at 3 years later they're at 8 million. So their pace is slowing, Voyager's growing, and Voyager's also going to be expanding. So just think about those numbers. If we even just replicate what Coinbase did, you're looking at 2.8, and I'm going to argue up, they could probably, if they execute at a fast speed, probably could get as high as, 4 million, 5 million, probably closer to 4. So let's just say 3 to 4 million customers in the next year. Okay, if there's 3 to 4 million customers, and with the 20 million growth pool and about 1 million a month in minted supply, you're looking at roughly 316 million VGX tokens in circulation with a customer base of, let's call it 3 million. So the math on that is how many tokens per person? 100-ish?
Yeah.
So what we're waiting to hear right now is what's the new VLP tier. We know that we need a lower tier to increase adoption. I think it's going to be 100. I think that the math works out that way. I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think that allows a lot of people to participate, which makes the demand for the token go up. Because then you have a barrier or a buy-in limit that's not completely absurd, right? At 100 tokens, you still have to strive for it. You still have to work to earn it because the price is going to be higher, obviously. But it's not unattainable.
What do you think makes more sense? Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going, Obi. I was
just going to say, but if you got 100 tokens available out there for roughly what the amount of customers are going to be, right? It doesn't take a whole lot in terms of adoption you're out of tokens, right? Because we've already just demonstrated that we have 75% of the supply locked up already. So I'm just kind of illustrating that the type of buy-side demand, and I'm using historical examples with a company that had a lower penetration rate of closing their funnel than what Voyager has. Just food for thought.
So when you said, the math checks out for you at 100 coins for the new tier, this is all speculation. We don't know what it's going to be. Does it make sense to you that it's kind of another scaled version down of what the lowest tier is now, in the sense that you're going to get a little bit of everything? Or are you thinking that maybe just that 100 tier will unlock maybe the basic of cash back on your debit card or trading? What do you think?
Oh, I think the basic will be under 100, and that'll give you like the base interest rates that people have now. It probably won't give you the debit card or any debit card rewards, but the 100 could probably be that limit in terms of getting the free debit card and some form of cash back. Maybe a little bit of trading rewards, some kind of a benefit that's less than the 500 adventurer tier would receive, but more than what the base customer would receive.
That's along what I'm thinking as well.
Man, this is thinking a little creatively, a little outside the box. But what about if they did that, and the only perk that thing got was a 3x cashback on trades? That way, it incentivizes it's free money. Well, free money that Voyager can give because it's out of the VGX marketing pool, and it's just getting more money continually back in newbies' pockets.
I think it's great in terms of their primary revenue stream coming from price improvement. However, getting to what like the navigators are getting now probably isn't realistic, because their comments have been that they're going to basically design the VLP around the debit card as the lead product. So I think it'll ultimately tie back to the debit card usage and boosters for having the MasterCard.
Great stuff. Great stuff. BigT Co. How are you, my friend?
Hey, good. Sorry, guys, I was late. I probably had prior engagements that I promised I'd be there for, so I cut it off halfway through that and came over here. I'm doing great. How you doing, brother?
Doing well, and no problem at all, my friend. The first hour was just a lot of touching up or catching up hero stuff. So, but good to have you. But continuing on, Obi-Wan, I agree. And there's just on top of just the natural growth, there's things that target audience like an NFT marketplace, so that that gets interest from outside eyes. And Coinbase has a large audience, but I mean there's real potential just scalp from all the different brokers and exchanges out there already, just because everything Voyager has to offer. So there's a ton of potential people coming onto the app, and I think the growth is just going to continue to be exceptional.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The growth potential, and let's also, I have put a few tweets out about adoption rates and what I'm talking about. I'm posting to pin right now, but I wanted to kind of draw three things to attention. One is that adoption curve I was talking about, and then secondly, I posted the statistics from Coinbase, which by the way are publicly available. I pulled them off of their quarterly investor relations earnings reports. But Voyager has a really big roadmap, and one thing that we just need to keep in mind is that it's going to take time to hire the right people, get them trained, get these products rolled out. They're a broker, so they're working with tons of third parties. They're working with Blockdaemon, they're working with Avalanche, they're working with UCO, they're integrating Coinify, they're working with Metropolitan Commercial Bank, they're doing B2B deals. They just hired a US payments guy. They're fighting regulation. They got to clear everything through lawyers. They're trying to uplist to NASDAQ. I mean, this is like a tireless pace, and it's not only Voyager's execution, but they're also dependent on the execution of those partners. So though they have a very aggressive roadmap, we do need to, kind of keep expectations on timelines and what is realistic in terms of those things being deployed, because I do think it will take longer than we're all hoping, but they're going to do it right, and they're not going to run before they walk. The stakes are too high to flub it up.
I had a quick talking. Well, we just briefly mentioned what's his name, Tim Mund.
Mm-hmm.
The new guy, Mund.
Yeah.
Anyone have any hero name suggestions for him? Because his title is Head of Payment Sales, and I was wondering if anyone had any fun stuff, because I'm gonna reach out.
I'm gonna have to think on that one.
No, I was thinking something along like the merchant lines, but I'm trying to think of any characters that sell stuff, and can't really think of anything.
Ask him, see what he's into. Maybe we could get him to pick something for himself. But Who knows? I'm trying to think of other merchants. What about the dude from Aladdin that like sold the lamp? I don't know. Anyways, I wanted to see if
Make all your
Bitcoin
wishes
came
come
up.
true.
What was that? Make all your wishes come true.
I mean,
Wait,
you could be
isn't it?
Dwight Schrute, paper salesman in the office.
Or the
That's a good one.
Genie from Aladdin, make all our wishes come true. What you got, Big T?
No, I was gonna say, towards the end, I want to go over this journey in Web3 with Steve Ehrlich at some point. So I just want to throw that in there. If you could just save maybe 5 to 10 minutes, I just want to throw out some pretty cool information.
Will do.
Well, I think that was all the news. We're just waiting to hear right now if we're going to get another tier or two and the details on the debit card and when those will be out. You know, again, there's a lot of crypto debit cards out there that are waiting on MasterCard and Visa and the different payment providers to get them out. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see it until February. I wouldn't be surprised if the expansion is, you know, early Q2. Just kind of piggybacking on the comments I made a second ago. But I'm excited to use the new product. I'm excited to put my paycheck at Voyager and use the checking account and actually earn some passive income for doing so.
No doubt, and you know, receive some rewards on paying bills that make it a little bit better. At least you get something for it.
Exactly. But I don't think there was any other announcement besides mostly the debit card renewal and then the hints at another tier. There's been a lot of speculation too with the Stormex co-sponsoring the new car with the Keurig team for Land and Castle, that there might be some kind of tie-in with the Stormex membership benefits with the VLP, or holding maybe Stormex in your Voyager wallet and not having to do the MetaMask thing to get the rewards that you might have sitting on Voyager that you may not be taking part of. Something like that, I suspect will be happening, but I don't know. Just kind of throwing a little food for thought out there.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. A lot like the Avalanche. Like, we know interest is coming at some point. It's just, but if you take your Avalanche off, you get good interest, but it's coming to the platform, so that makes sense for Stormex as well.
Do you briefly want to mention the new caps to Bitcoin and Ethereum, which actually help the retailer and prevent Voyager from being, you know, manipulated by the big dogs?
Yeah, so they did put a cap of 100 Bitcoin and 500 ETH on the interest program for 2022. At least the monthly rewards have been announced thus far. They have a pretty good track record of keeping to the rewards that they quote for the 3 that they get boosters on. Unlike a lot of the competitors, that, you know, it's good as a stockholder because they're not going out into the market and buying up all the Bitcoin and ETH and trying to hand it out to large hands, or just to the community in general, because, you know, that's a burden on the P&L. I'd rather them use that marketing pool that's built into the smart contract of the tokenomics and deplete that, and then pay us a VGX and help the VGX token go up in price. So I'm really happy with that move. And you know what? Anybody who was going to have 100 Bitcoin or 500 ETH that were going to be putting their funds on Voyager, they probably wouldn't be putting their funds on Voyager in the first place, because can you imagine the tax implications of doing that and getting that interest? I mean, it's just going to put you in the 38% tax bracket. So like, why bother? So
yeah, I agree on that thought. And just like, if you're not happy earning interest on 100 Bitcoin, and you know, I feel like that's a adequate amount to earn interest on them.
Yeah, I think anybody who owns 100 Bitcoin is the kind of Bitcoiner that's going to self-custody their Bitcoin anyway.
Yeah, totally agree.
Well,
The people that are mad about that are the people that have like 0.051 Bitcoin.
one note, and I'll bring it up on Sri's behalf and a couple others in the community that brought it to my attention. I know Duck mentioned it as well, and basically they were looking at how there's been a decreased spread on VGX, and so the spread's been tightening up down to like 4 or 5 cents as opposed to it used to be, 7 cents, something like that. So it's getting more competitive. And so they started doing some comparison and see how it related to Coinbase Pro, and seeing where do we match up, and basically someone boiled it down to at around 600 VGX is when below that Voyager tends to win out, and above that Coinbase Pro tends to win out. And because when you factor in Voyager, you factor in all of the perks of the VLP. This is if you're a VLP member, because then you're getting cash back on trades, you're getting the monthly interest from holding and stuff on the platform, so on and so forth. But and this can be a point of discussion for members on the panel if you guys want. For those that are buying more than 600, obviously that can, to the whales, it can be fairly disincentivizing to think about buying that much on Voyager. What are there any workarounds? Is Voyager going to have to pull something out of their sleeve, or add something else to the VLP to incentivize large VGX purchases?
Does that factor in the 3 times cashback rewards for navigators and the
Yes.
Coinbase fees?
Yeah, or so our people have calculated.
I would be I would have to look at the math, because if you're doing a Coinbase Pro, I'm assuming you'd be doing a limit order, and you'd be taking the maker fee as opposed to the taker side. There's a difference. And then obviously there's the, if you're doing a market order, you're gonna feel the fees even more.
Sure.
But
Yeah,
that 3x cash back that you get is pretty darn good.
So just shoot some numbers then. What theoretically would that 3x take it down to? Because let's say the spread is 4 or 5 cents, something like that. Would it theoretically make it closer to 3, 2, 1?
Oh, I'd have to get a calculator.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just one of those. Evidently, there's rumblings of discontentment within the market rebellion side, talking about the VGX spread specifically, and I was like, man, I don't know. I haven't run the numbers specifically myself, so.
I mean, if the math works out to say that, why not just put several 500 orders in? You have less slippage risk anyways.
All good thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason why they have the spread, right, on Voyager is, and this is something that people that from a trading background tend to forget, is that Voyager, when you're looking at the prices, the bid and ask and the spot price, because they're a broker, they're going out to 10 different exchanges on some assets to find the average, what's the bid and ask. And then they're going to actually fill the order at the best price that they can find for the price improvement. So most of the time, whatever you're quoted or whatever you're looking at in the app may not look as good as what your order gets filled at. Coinbase has got whatever supply is the supply they have. And if you're really a whale and the supply crunch gets to where I'm kind of talking about, they might not even be able to buy the quantities of VGX on that platform that they even want to buy. So it's just one of those things that I would just say the thing that people often forget is they treat Voyager like an exchange, and those quoted prices are an aggregate average of their exchange partners.
Also, one thing to note is we don't know. So let's keep talking about Coinbase Pro then. In that instance, we don't know if their margin is actually basically if they're losing money effectively on such good rates. I'll use withdrawal fees for example. Someone looked the other day and CB Pro was charging like 2 VGX, but then they looked at like what the price of gas was at that time, and I think Coinbase was losing something like $11 by quoting that. You know, and so it's like, well, Voyager maybe charging more, but like again, once all the factors are considered, sure, you may be being quoted better things, but is the business actually losing money?
Yeah, they might be especially on a limit order, and combined with the withdrawal fee. I mean, it depends on what they acquired the VGX at and the fee they got to pay to send it out. It's very possible that Coinbase isn't making money on certain trades, which doesn't make me happy as a stockholder. but I'm a stockholder of Voyager too, and I really like their financials and their user growth and their penetration rates way more than what I'm seeing out of Coinbase.
Yep.
Yeah, Coinbase it's like everybody, if like people not even in crypto, they have Coinbase, but the amount of people I know that have Coinbase and have never used it or just have an account and have never done anything with it is more than the people that I know that actually use it.
Yeah, it's 10 to 1. People just have it downloaded, but don't actually use it. Like the last quarterly report was 73 million downloaded accounts, verified accounts, and 7 million traded accounts.
Proud to be a part of the majority there.
Yeah, but I mean, Coinbase effectively makes a lot of their money off of their custody and their institutional clients. A lot of their money, and historically, it's mostly been on Bitcoin, not the altcoins. They kind of copied the playbook from Voyager there in offering more altcoins, because Gemini and Voyager were starting to kind of give people more options, so they kind of had to play the game. So I wouldn't be surprised on some of those altcoins, depending on what price they acquired them at, what their profitability might be.
Because I know, you know how Voyager uses a smart order router and to execute the trades. It was laughingly like almost all Binance went right like a year ago, because that was their main partner. And now I would be really curious to get that peek behind the curtain and to see how much they do shop around. I mean, we know it has to be because the spread's tightened across.
Yeah, I've looked at it. It's almost 50-50 Coinbase and Binance now, where it used to be 96% Binance.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and Gate.io and Bittrex or whatever, some of these smaller exchanges, I mean, they don't even add up to 1% of the volume. FTX is super small as well, because it's only the overseas FTX. It's not in FTX US. So basically all the US orders are routing through Coinbase or Binance, depending on which one has the better price. I guess Gate.io would be another one, but they usually don't have as much supply, so they're, depending on the order size, Voyager probably wouldn't route the order there unless it was a smaller purchase.
Well, if no one else had anything, it might be time to kick it over to
Yeah,
big man.
I was just about to say, yeah, that's kind of wrapping that up. If we want to move into Big Tico, your segment.
Yeah, I'm gonna pin something over the top real quick. So give me 1 second.
It's the Big T effect. I love it, man. You've been killing it in spaces.
Thanks. It's been fun. It's it takes a lot of support from the community, and having people like Obi, Aldo, Baroness, those types of people in your spaces constantly. I mean, that's ultimately why it's successful. It's the community aspect. It's not any one individual. I wouldn't be successful with those spaces if it weren't for Obi, and specifically Obi, because you get all types of questions. So guys, real quick, so in one of these spaces that I hosted, I believe it was 2 days ago, we had a guest come up, and their name was Kalo, and come to find out, they were actually the CEO of Wisher Vodka. So essentially, they're the first ever vodka in the metaverse, and they actually have a distillery located down in Fort Myers, Florida. To make a long story short, after talking to them for quite some time, they made an offer and they said that, excuse me, they said that they would like for us to, or they actually would like to host a party in Decentraland for the VGX Heroes. So then my big brain was like, okay, well, why don't we invite Steve and the Voyager team to join us in Decentraland for the first ever experience, my first ever experience in the metaverse. And right away, Steve said, absolutely. So he sent me over to his booking lady. But I wanted you guys first off to show support to Wisher Vodka for the kind gesture. So if you could, everybody in here, follow them. But we are actually going to do our next community mashup with Wisher Vodka, and they are actually going to, a week after that AMA, we're all going to go into the metaverse for the first time, Voyager included, and we're going to walk around Decentraland, hosted by Wisher Vodka with Steve Ehrlich and the team. So I had contacted DJ Crypto and Crypto Airborne. So we're going to figure out how to film a YouTube video in order to show everybody how to participate. But it is absolutely cost free. In order to make an avatar and to participate in that, all you have to do is go to Decentraland.org and set up your avatar. And then if you want to buy anything when you're in Decentraland, you can set up a MetaMask wallet. But we're going to go ahead and walk everybody through that process so everybody can participate. But I think that's pretty cool that Steve and the team are actually going to join us for a couple hours in the metaverse. It's going to be their first experience too, and hosted by Wisher Vodka. So, we'll have more information in regards to the community mashup time and the actual date that we're going to host this. But it's going to be an absolutely massive event, and I would love it if everybody participates in it with us. I know it's crazy. Trust me, I'm not a Web3 metaverse guy, but this is going to be off the chain. This is going to be so much fun.
You
Thank
know,
you guys.
Big T, not that it matters how big or how small this company is and this business is, because we started small and we're still small in the grand scheme of crypto Twitter and all that stuff. Do you recall, because they're not small at all. If I remember correctly, do you recall some of the numbers property value wise in their Decentraland area that they're in, or some of the places that are around them? Because it was real deal, right?
Yeah,
It is massive.
yeah. So some interesting information in regards to Wisher Vodka. Being that they're the first ever brewery / distillery in the metaverse, they actually own multiple plots in Decentraland. And just to give you an idea of what a plot of land costs, prime real estate, their main property is, I believe, like slap dab in the middle of Decentraland, and it costed them $23,000 to put up their building and do everything. So if you actually go on Wisher Vodka's page, you can see kind of like what the experience is like in there. And there's a lot of good information. But one thing that was really interesting about this company, and I don't want to spoil too much information because we are going to do this community mashup. They actually have an NFT that's built around, if you invest into their NFT, they actually ship vodka. It's a gluten-free brand and it's a health-conscious vodka. It's made out of beets to your front door. So there's a membership that's tied to the NFT. Therefore, it has real world use case and utility. So it's not just this brand that's be the first ever in the metaverse that was created. They actually have a real business outside of the metaverse, and they just use it as a place to conversate and host different events. They had a yacht party. They have yoga classes. They do all kinds of stuff. But yeah, that's really all I have to say in regards to that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And as a Web3 guy, kind of the opposite of you, I'm definitely going to be there and excited to for some of y'all to experience it for the first time. And for me, not knowing them, I mean, that's a true innovator, that whoever's behind that, take something, a vodka company or distillery. I mean, there's one all over the place, but to differentiate yourself and kind of get into crypto in the way they have, that's amazing. And the floor price for one plot of Decentraland is right at 15,000, not including to build anything on it, because that there's a lot that goes into that. Like like a Web3 design. I mean, that truly is a lot that went behind that. So I'm looking forward to it. And that's cool. Steve's on board.
You know, one of the interesting things too, guys, and I don't, you know, this is something that everybody can participate in. You don't need an Oculus, you don't need a headset. You can literally just go on your web browser and participate. So anybody that has a computer, a laptop, will be able to participate in this. So don't think you have to go out and buy this Oculus or do this or do that. Just hop on your computer with us. We're gonna have a Discord channel for this. There'll be more information that comes out in regards to it. But, you know, come spend a couple hours, you know, literally be able to talk to Steve live in the metaverse and experience this with each other for the first time. I mean, what's better than that? If you're that's the amazing thing about the metaverse, is that it doesn't matter necessarily where you're from. Everybody can be at one place at one time. So no matter where you're at, whether you're European or whether you're, you know, in California to Florida it doesn't matter. We can all hang out in the metaverse for a couple hours. You can ask them that important question I'm sure that you have, but just experience this with the group. Like I said, I'm not huge into the metaverse Web3, but this is going to be one of those maybe once in a lifetime opportunities for me to pop in there and see what it's all about with all of your friends. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, don't forget to charge your AirPods or plug your headphones in before the meeting so we can all hear each other better. That's a side tip.
Hey, I just wanted to say hey, and that's cool. I've actually popped into Decentraland once, and it was pretty neat. And you really don't even have to do anything. You just get a link, and it'll pop you right into exactly where you need to go, and then it's just a matter of moving your little dude around. But I mean, I don't know if Pepe has like Decentraland gear or anything. Like you can make your avatars kind of cool if you have the stuff, but that's fun. Like you can totally just talk, and even if you don't want to use your voice, you can text as well. So if people don't want to talk, that's cool too. So
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
You can buy clothing on OpenSea.
yeah. Well, and like accessories and things, like that little doggy that's in my picture, I might be able to like use him as an avatar, and I have to do a little asking. But,
What's up, guys? Hey, Crypto Airborne here. Just wanted to pop in real quick. What's up? Hey, guys, I just wanted to pop in real quick. I'm recording the show right now, and I happened to pop into the metaverse on Decentraland on their I'm actually doing it right now. It's pretty crazy. The Wisher Vodka. I'm in their metaverse. There's a bunch of people in here right now. So whenever
they're actually hosting it's called a fireside chat tonight. And they actually want us to host it one night. They're just like a free form tonight's their Shill and Chill project. So they have a whole bunch of people who have NFT projects, and they're talking about their NFTs and their projects. So that's what they're doing right now.
This is pretty cool, man. I don't know about you guys, but I've messed around with Decentraland and whatnot, but the plots of land that you can, visit or get invited to, and it's kind of cool because they actually tailored it to their own brand. So they have like their Wisher Vodka. There's like a big little, bottle of Wisher Vodka that's sitting here. There's like a cool little fireplace graphic thing they have. And the thing is, there's all these people that you see in here are real people. You can walk up to them, left click, view their profile, and you can link like their LinkedIn, like they're real people. This is crazy. And then you could turn your mic on and off. Like I'm sitting here, like you don't have to have like an Oculus headset or whatever. Like you could just put your microphone in front of you and just walk around and like engage in conversations with these people like it's real life. So this is pretty cool, guys. I'm getting pretty pumped up, but I just wanted to pop in and share that with you guys because I'm recording it right now. And if you go back, if you watch the playback, I'm going to upload it after here. You can see it like real time. It's pretty cool.
As a backup, I was going to say we could potentially just all mob over there because I remember from hanging out with them this morning and with you, BigT. It's like, well, we could just pivot from this AMA to Decentraland and show them what's up and scout this out and say hi. I'm down.
I'm in there right now, guys.
It takes like 15 minutes to set up.
If y'all want to wrap it up, we can hop over there.
Put a link.
I'm down.
Airborne,
dude, this is
have
cool.
A link for it?
Hey, yeah, I personally won't be able to do that, Crypto Airborne. But Floki or anybody who does end up doing that, just tell Kimberly, she's the CEO, that I said hello, and we're all looking forward to this. And I just want to say this one more time, guys. We're all about partnerships in this, and I think that's pretty amazing that they are taking the time to host this for us. Like they're gonna have a legit hangout. They're gonna walk us around all in the metaverse. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. There's strip clubs. There's casinos. There's different businesses. There's all kinds of stuff. So, if you're interested, please, follow them and just show support because they're showing support for us. So just drop them a follow.
Absolutely. IB, I see you hopped up here, friend. You got a question or anything to add?
Yeah, I was on their page and I saw the pin tweet up top. It is the 21st, and is that correct? Big T.
Say that again.
The date of that event is on the 21st on the pin tweet up top.
Oh no. That was just something that they did. No, that's something that they're doing by themselves the 21st. Sorry, I was confused what your question was. No, we haven't set the dates for what we're gonna do with them yet. So we're trying to figure out the dates that'll best work for them because they host different events throughout the week. So we're trying to work that between our schedule with the AMA, the spaces that I host, and then my personal life. So we're just trying to work out, what's going to work best for everybody, and then go from there. But we'll definitely keep you guys informed. You guys know me, I'm loud as hell, so you don't got to worry about it. You'll know about it.
Well, and Voyager's schedule, right? Because some of the team will be there.
Yeah. Well, I'm working with Steve's, I guess, secretary, to plan that out. So she gave me all the different time frames and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, they will be there 100%. They're all in.